Lily, we're officially
We're live.
Hi, well, good morning, Lily. We're live again.
It's not morning, Carl, but we're live again.
Hold on, what time is it? Oh, it's 2:00. Yeah, you know what? I mean, this is the whole point of working from home is that you don't know what time it is, so you actually work more.
Exactly. I mean, that's the goal.
But good morning, everybody, wherever you are. Good evening, good afternoon, and we've got a couple of guests that we're going to bring on today. We've been running, as you know, the Meeting for Good campaign for a while now, since November, and we're going to share with you some of the results of that, which I'm really excited about. It's been literally a journey of bringing this thing to an awareness, bringing it to enough awareness, I guess, of the execs that we want to pledge their time. And I think what we're going to show you and what you're going to hear is some really exciting stuff about the impact that it's actually been having. So we're going to have Matt from the Starlight Children Foundation, who is the head of corporate partnerships and has a team up and down the country talking about Meetings for Good, which is great. And then after Matt, we're going to have Nathan from Netskope come on and talk from a vendor perspective about the impact that these meetings have had for him. So you get to see both sides of the campaign and the impact it's having. So yeah, so really excited about that. So Lily, shall we just bring Matt in?
I think so.
Do you think he's ready? He's probably got kids banging around.
Straight in.
Okay, everybody, meet Matt.
Hey guys, how are we?
Good, how are you?
How good's this?
I know,
right? I mean, literally, if you are wondering about how the hell you're going to do stuff today, well, get used to this way of being, because I think the New South Wales government are saying this is going to be it for 90 days. So if you can't go out for 90 days and you can't meet people, well, you better get your message out somehow. And this is LinkedIn and this streaming technology is absolutely the way forward for me.
Oh, we've got some comments already, Carl.
Yeah, obviously this is I'm on it. So
look at it.
I'm going to try. Yeah, thanks everyone for joining in wherever you are. I'm going to try and access the comments while you kick off with Matt, Lily.
Yeah, so yeah, as Carl said, Matt is the head of partnerships at Starlight, and he deals with Starlight's end of the Meeting for Good initiative. And yeah, it's just been amazing to work with Matt and to learn a bit about the Starlight Children's Foundation. I know I've really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed visiting the Starlight Room and everything like that. So unfortunately, given this current environment, obviously we can't bring everyone into the Starlight Room and show them how cool it is, but we thought that we'd bring Matt to everyone and see if you can kind of give us a little insight of the Starlight Children's Foundation and how you got involved and things like that. So yeah, kick off with maybe how you got involved and how you started this. That'd be great.
yeah, sure. So I mean, I guess my journey with Starlight, I've been there coming up to 3 years in May, and my background was always in B2B marketing, e-commerce, startups. So I was always in a very much that commercial space, and I always loved the idea of doing something for not-for-profit and for purpose, but wasn't sure if that opportunity would ever arise. And I was actually the former CEO of Red Balloon, who I worked closely with for many years. While I was there, actually joined Starlight, became head of fundraising, and an opportunity came up to sort of look after the whole corporate partnerships team. She tapped me on the shoulder, and it was an amazing opportunity. So really, really exciting. I'm conscious the light looks like it's dropping in and out. Maybe I should go back to having the blind down.
That is fun.
So yeah. And it's just been such an exciting ride to get to work with such an amazing group of people, and the impact that we have on so many children's lives is really phenomenal. And it's just an amazingly strong organization built on positive psychology, an organization which is really what sets us up strongly to get through the times. So I guess to share a bit about Starlight, for those who maybe don't know, Starlight, we've been around in Australia for 31 years, born out of a volunteering idea to grow up and deliver impact for seriously ill children. And our today as one of the most trusted and respected charities, the largest, broadest reaching children's charity. With programs, and at the heart of it all, our vision is that every child, or everyone, deserves a happy childhood. And our goal is to brighten the lives of seriously ill children. We do that through a number of programs, but really speaks to the power of happiness and how important that is in the lives of everyone, and even more so for those kids who have been impacted by serious illness, lengthy hospital stays, and just being, their future well-being and career prospect in everything. So it really is encapsulating, well-being. And to touch on some of the programs that we work through. So many people might be familiar with our Starlight's Wish Granting program. So we grant over 500 wishes, life-changing wishes that the children dream up, and that we deliver. It's an incredibly powerful opportunity for hope, brings the whole family together, and incredibly life-changing stories that it has. And it's amazing how many we do. Obviously, a lot of our travel wishes at the moment are being postponed. So we've granted well over 100 wishes already this year, and we're still continuing our program in this space, despite what's going on. But it's really important that we do that, and we know that when we get through this, there's going to be an even greater backlog of wishes that kids that need that. So that's one of our programs. The other is our Captain Starlights and Starlight Express rooms. So we have these medical free haven rooms in all of the paediatric children's hospital in Australia, and they are filled with over 200 Captain Starlights. And these are the guys that come down from Planet Starlight and entertain the kids, to distract them through games, through play, through video games, through entertainment. And these are just amazing places. I know, Carl and Lily, you've both been to our Starlight Express rooms, and you saw the joy on the kids' faces. It's just an important part of that little microcosm of happiness in a scary, bleak hospital environment.
And hugely important, Matt, right? We were talking the other day about how, we're on lockdown right now, but spare a thought for those kids that are actually there all the time.
Yeah, literally.
And I think that's what I think we are all. I mean, as a professional fundraiser, we're talking about. We do need to talk about the need and the impact that our programs deliver on sick kids, and sometimes we do that through sharing their amazing stories, but I think what the situation that we're all facing right now, the whole world, is that we're all getting a little taste of what that fear, that sense of not knowing what the future holds, and being isolated and away from our friends and family. Like, you couldn't create, a more terrible way to experience what that would be like, even taking away the fact that there is illness involved and you're a child. So I think a lot of us adults, I mean, I'm a parent of two beautiful, healthy boys, so I'm so blessed and lucky. And I still don't know what it would be like to walk in the shoes of, a parent with a seriously ill child. But I even feel like this process has brought us all a little bit closer to that. And they're doing it even harder. So just to add that, the current situation is making everything harder, and Starlight is there right now everywhere to try and to really, really focus on that. So we're doing everything that we can. We're doing a lot of technology set up to be able to deliver this. We have our Starlight TV in hospital. So right now we are beaming, live studio-based Captain Starlight stories and games throughout all the hospital wards to the kids in their bed. We're doing virtual rocket rounds where our captains would normally be going out on the ward. And we're currently doing that through technology, which is really, really exciting. We're even FaceTiming captains as well. So we are sort of at the front of a lot of these technology innovations, and so we are well placed to deliver this. But obviously, it's not easy, and we're working, hand in hand with the medical professionals and the hospitals, basically to deliver what we can and in whatever way they want us to. So we've got a really strong relationship with that network. So it's incredibly powerful to see how we're bringing that to life. So that's I guess a little snapshot of what's happening in the hospital. I know Yesterday, our captains filmed a 6-hour megasode where they had to literally come up with 6 hours of content, and they were doing some absolutely crazy games and challenges and streaming events. And it's really interesting to see how this is shaping a lot of pro delivery ahead as well.
Yeah, which is probably a good segue into, I mean, thinking about doing things differently. That's exactly what we did with the whole Meeting for Good thing. And I think it was almost a year ago now that you and I got together.
It is.
Yeah, so
Amazing how.
I love it. You're live on TV. Look at this.
We're live.
Beautiful, much better. Yeah,
Virtual
so
background.
Matt, could you tell us a little bit of like how you and Carl kind of got made the Meeting for Good initiative and how meetmagic and Starlight kind of met?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think I don't know, Carl, you might want to kick off the initial.
Well, I mean,
starting point.
The whole meetmagic thing was been going for a couple of years. Everyone who knows me has sort of seen me put heart and soul and sweat into it, to try and get something off the ground. And it was kicking along for two or so years in the background. And we had some amazing people take meetings, and we raised some money for different charities. And I think what it needed was a focus and a real just a laser beamed focus on one charity. And it was, I think, Paul Keane, Paul was the ex-CIO of Dick Smith before they went. Then he was over at Airtasker as a CTO, and then he went to Qantas as the head of software engineering. And he called me one day and said, "Look, I'm on the board of Starlight, and I love what you're doing. I've taken a few meetings. I really like them. I think you can help us. I'm going to connect you with Matt." And so I'll never forget, Matt and I sat and had a coffee at Chifley Tower, and we just connected. And I think, Matt, you came up with the idea of the name Meeting for Good.
Well, I don't know if I can take credit for that, but I think the concept is so strong. And I thought was, I mean, you paid for the coffee. I remember that. That was good. And anyone who knows Carl, obviously, tells an amazing story. So it was really, I mean, you really painted a really clear picture for us. And it was interesting at the time that we came to that table is that we were looking for opportunities for virtual peer-to-peer fundraising activations that targeted our corporate audience. So we were looking actively for the next big idea that we could potentially roll out. Starlight's blessed with a very large network of corporate support. We rely solely on our community for our core programs. And so we were trying to work out a way, how do we bring our network together to give them something to work towards on. And it was a really great concept. And so it took a lot of work to take it from the next stage and obviously frame it around that one campaign idea and for 1 month long activation.
And to shift minds, right? To make minds, to let people realize that this is not a bribe. This is not anything other than a cause-related marketing campaign where they're using marketing dollars, and we're using those same marketing dollars to make a donation. It was getting people's minds around that was half of the challenge.
Yeah, and we've obviously got a lot of legislation we need to apply to, and we work through that. And I think it's one of those ideas as well that it's not the easiest to explain. So I think a lot of our time was spent trying to work on crafting the story to explain it, because I think in the vendor space, those guys get it. This is their bread and butter. This is what they're looking to do. And I think in the exec space and in the broader fundraising space, it's a unique new idea. This hasn't been done before. So came with those challenges and that communication piece. And even still now, I mean, now we'll share some of the results of how it's been going. Is just the momentum is really, really building now. And there's the early adopters who came on board, like the Paul Keens, who really drove it hard. And I know you've got so many other people behind you, Carl, who've always seen the vision and supported us. And Andrew Westfarmers, I mean, those guys have just been, shining lights for the others to follow the way. And it's really exciting to see where this could go. It's again, putting a fundraiser, the engagement piece for corporate Australia to be involved and connected to a great cause, to give up their time that they all want to be doing volunteering and giving back. And this is a new way that they can do that, to then have positive business outcomes, and they're having these meetings anyway, to then have that impact and as a global community. So there's so much more we can do together on this, and it's just exciting just to think that it is a win-win-win, like the cliche, but it is.
It really is. It really is. And when I originally set up meetmagic, it was literally not to make money and to get a fat car and a house and whatever else. It was literally to find a brand new way for charities to get money easily using business meetings. That was a sole purpose. And the whole goal for us is to donate $250 million to charity. And to see Starlight come on board and for us to literally take an idea and a concept and launch it with your name behind us has really helped get the message out there. And it's literally right now, I think, let me just flip some of these.
Yep. Oh yeah, some of these numbers.
It would literally, I think when you think about a startup and you think about, is it going to work? Is it not going to work? You need to go through this process of testing the market basically to see, is enough people? Do enough people care about what we're doing? And that's the whole product to market fit stage. And then, of course, you've got to go from product to market fit once you've got enough people. And there's some signs that you can tell when the product to market fit is working, people start talking about it rather than you having to talk about it. So we're now getting people coming to us. We're getting companies talking about us on stage at their sales kickoffs. We're getting literally some amazing stuff. And I know Nathan is going to talk a little bit about that as well when he comes on board. But just have a look at this. Let me flick this on. Add to stream. So you should all be able to see this now. And when I get goose, I've got goose pimples now. Actually, bloody hell. I mean, I'm from Nottingham, and everyone knows where Nottingham is in the UK because it's famous for a number of things. One, Sir William Booth, the founder of the Salvation Army, who's one of my heroes. He took his business of helping women to 57 countries without the internet. So how good was that? But it's also famous for Robin Hood, who was helping the poor basically. And this, even though we're helping sick kids, it's the same sort of principle. We're taking funds and we're redistributing it and making some good out of it. And have a look at this. So bear in mind, now this is the exciting thing. Matt and I came up with the concept of Meeting for Good. We launched it in November, and we had it running through November, December, and January, the quietest period in corporate Australia throughout the year. Everyone's away in Aspen skiing. Well, they are around here. I don't know about anywhere else, but everyone's away. Most people are off school, so there's not that much activity from the corporate perspective. But during that quiet time, we've managed to have 500 meetings that have been pledged. And when you look at this, what we've done is we've taken every meeting that's happened, we've given a little short survey. We haven't got every meeting taking place, done a survey, but most of them have given us some feedback, and there what you can see is on that screen. Matt, do you want to talk about that? Because that for me is, 81 meetings taken is incredible.
Yeah, look, I think to think about the build up, starting from 0 execs or starting from a handful of your strongest and ardent allies, to then get to around, I think we got to about 70, and then there was that real momentum post, and then it was harder to get to 100, and then Lily's come on board and things have just rocketed along, and just with the ongoing momentum. So we're nearly at 150 C-suite executives who pledged their time to support a charity and to take these meetings, which is phenomenal. And I think what's so exciting is, the Uber rating that we send them after every meeting, rating it in terms of the experience of the meeting is a 4.7 out of 5. You can see the questions there. We asked them did they find the meeting insightful and informative? All of these numbers are incredibly powerful in terms of 9 out of 10s. There's an 83% opportunity for future collaboration. So from the executive who's just had an introductory meeting, they're thinking that there's something in this, which is phenomenal. So all the charity aspects aside, the future for a network and a relationship to prosper from that afterwards, I think is amazing. The fact that the meetings are relevant, a really valuable use of their time, and the fact that they would all do more, and they've all come back and said, would they do 4 a year, 1 a month, once a year? I mean, it really is open to the exec to how they want to engage, which is so exciting. And
exactly,
I think a lot of those answers are also a lot of the questions that we get from those who maybe haven't pledged or are thinking about pledging and just interested in the idea. And, you know, again, like Carl, getting back to the beginning, when everyone thinks it's a great idea, I don't think there was anyone that you explained it to and go, that's awesome. But then getting them over the line to commit. And I think that's where we're now. The momentum is really built. And you can see there with the answers from the execs in terms of how powerful it is. And what's so exciting is how much that aligns with the vendors as well. So they're also having an incredibly similar experience and find it incredibly valuable. So it's a great venue. And obviously you talk more about that once I jump off. But I think for me, it's proof in the pudding that the concept and the model works and it's scalable, which just is scalable, and sustainability is the key, and that's proving itself. And then just coming back to the middle slides, it's sort of, you know, there's 81 meetings that have happened. There's 55 being scheduled right now. So there's been $80,000 raised, donated to Starlight, which the impact on that money already is over 2,000 kids having access to the Starlight Express room for the length of their stay in hospital. So really, really powerful impact. And the scale is there to do so much more.
And I think,
really,
I think that's what makes this initiative so different from so many other fundraisers and initiatives that you could have. Like, Starlight has so many amazing days and puts on the best events. But I think what is really interesting and just cool about this initiative is that this could go on as long as you want it to. And that the longevity in this idea and this fundraiser, it doesn't only help Starlight. It helps Starlight. It helps the children at Starlight. It helps the vendors. It helps the executives. It helps the companies of the executives. The list could go on. And I think that's what makes this initiative so powerful, is that it literally can go on and on and on and on. And then it all comes back to the same thing, which is that
what's that goal, Lily?
Amazing fundraiser.
What's our goal for Starlight? We want to have how many execs signed on between now and July?
I want to make it to like 500 to 1,000.
Okay. I'm going to say 1,000. Let's see if we can get 1,000 execs. That's the goal. And
that's the goal.
You know, and right now, most of the execs are sitting at home, and it's 45 minutes in front of their laptop, and 18 seriously ill kids. And can I just give a quick shout out to our new hire, Maddie, who is doing an amazing job. So that number there of 55 scheduled, that's what Maddie is. Maddie's a professional EA, by the way. She's come from the top end of town law firms, Gilbert and Turbin, I think it was, and she knows how to get things done. So Maddie's role is to white label and concierge every single one of these meetings. So when a vendor comes on board, you know, they book some meetings, Maddie does all the reach out and all the connecting and everything. So it's completely white labeled, first of its kind in the world. And I don't think there's anything that's been set up where a meeting can take place. It can raise money for charity. It can save the planet because the execs are not flying around anymore. So you're actually lowering your carbon footprint. There's all these massive positives coming out of these meetings. So thanks, Maddie, for coming on board and helping us.
Finally, Matt, I just wanted to ask you, is there anything that you would say to anyone that watches this or is watching? What would you say to them? What would you ask of them for their support? For what would you say?
Well, I'd just be impressed if they're still here after 23 minutes. I thank them for their time. Look, I think for the 150 executives already signed up, I want to thank them. And I think the proof's in the pudding of the feedback we're getting from them in terms of how valuable they're finding it, and how enjoyable their impact it's having on seriously ill kids. Like Carl said, every meeting helps 18 seriously ill kids. So I would just be asking, I think now, I mean, I know that we're all impacted significantly by what's happening out there. And for those that are still working and still working online, that these virtual meetings can now still take place. So to your point, Lily, this is sustainable. This is always on. You know, it simply just takes you 30 seconds to register your interest, and then the team goes to work and we'll tee something up. So I think it's very low risk. It is low risk, but I think it's a really great way to give back. And I think what we're hearing from some of our state advisory boards and some of the senior execs connected to our organisation is very much that they are looking for things to do to help right now in this current situation. And our physical volunteering opportunities aren't available. For many, that the funds are going to be held up for a number of things. So there's going to be, incredibly devastating effects on Starlight's fundraising, let alone like other charities. But we're in a really strong place to get through it. And through initiatives like this is what's going to do it. So anyone can help that they can. The vendors, the execs, thank you. Get involved, jump to the website, register.
Yeah, and it's literally log on to
there.
Yeah. Is it this one?
Meeting for Good. Oh.
There we are.
Look at that. News alert.
Yeah, we'll put the tickers up to make it look good.
Ticker up. Awesome.
Matt, I can't thank you and the Starlight team enough.
No,
really grateful for Louise.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure, guys. Have fun. Thank you.
We're going to drop you off and bring in Nathan from Netskope. Thanks, Matt. I'll see you soon. So Nathan, when you looked at those numbers on this screen for everybody to see, well, I'll bring the numbers back up in a minute when we bring Nathan in. But so Nathan works with Netskope, and Netskope are a great cloud access company. If you've got anything that's remotely touching the cloud, whether it's public or private, Netskope are the ones that basically can secure that. So if you've got any issues or complaints or worries or concerns
we'll
around,
have to give a proper intro, but that's what we know.
Yeah,
we just know it's an amazing company.
We'll just wing it. And I'm going to bring in. So let's bring in Nathan. So Nathan Brooker's one of the people that actually is on the receiving end of these meetings. Nathan.
Yeah. Wow.
How good's our television show?
Fantastic. I've been enjoying it. I love it. Hey, you're giving me something to do, which is nice. I've been sitting at home with kids running around everywhere, so it's nice to close the door and get away from it all.
Yeah, have an excuse to sit in the office.
Well, can I just say some of the joys and benefits of being at home? I've got a girl in year 12, and today she got her exam results back, and I was so lucky to sit here and hear her scream as loud as she could. She got 90%, and I wouldn't have heard that if she was at school. At school,
it's exciting.
Yeah, it's really exciting. So Matt, tell us. I mean, Lily, you've got a couple of questions for Matt. I know for
Nathan.
I've got.
Okay, mate.
I'm not enough coffee, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. So thank you so much for coming to chat with us, Nathan. Yeah, Nathan's from Netskope, and he is one of the salespeople there, and he has. You've had the pleasure in taking some of the meetings that we've been advertising and pushing. So just for a little bit of background, do you want to tell us in a little bit more detail about Netskope and what you do for Netskope, what Netskope stands for, what you sell, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess firstly, Starlight Foundation is pretty close to my heart. I've got a family member. Actually, one of my cousins has got a seriously ill child. So, I think for our business, helping with working with Carl quite closely, and Matt at Starlight, it's been really rewarding for us as a business. And I know we're starting to put a lot of marketing funds towards you, Carl, rather than going to some events and doing roundtables and stuff like that, because the meetings that we get out of it are really, really meaningful. So you've got our backing, mate, and I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't very beneficial to our business too. So it's a win-win for everyone. So. Yeah, so I'm an account director for Netskope. I've been with the company for 3 years, so we're about a 7-year-old company. We've been in Australia or at the Asia Pacific region for about 5 years. So I've been around for quite some time in the cloud security space. So we started 7 years ago. Our CEO and our founders saw that there was a shift of businesses going from everything on premise to the cloud. Users no longer worked from just an office. They were roaming on laptops. They were roaming on mobiles. And organizations started quickly realizing that the security stack they had in place just didn't cover what their requirements were. So over the last 7 years, Netskope's built a cloud security platform. So basically what we try to do is give you data loss prevention, threat protection, access control, and visibility into your cloud environment. So what applications users are using, are they good, are they bad? Should we be allowing them to upload data to it, et cetera, et cetera. And that's what we're really aiming to do, is give you that protection both on-premise and off-premise. So your users can be anywhere in the world, getting a good user experience through their devices while they're off-net, but still have that security you once had on-premise. So I run the enterprise space for Netskope. Anything with, from your big banks, your big retailers, your big airlines, which unfortunately the airlines are in a little bit of dire at the moment. So it's a difficult time, right? And technology like Netskope, we're one of the lucky businesses out there where in times like this, our business is really thriving. I've got a lot of friends who have been made redundant or have been asked to take leave. It's very tough for a lot of organizations out there, but with Netskope doing what we do is I was actually talking to a business the other day, and they got 30,000 users in their organization. They had 1,000 laptops, and I was blown away. Right, so they now have to buy 29,000 laptops for their organization to utilize their remote workforce. So I think it's really going to strengthen our business. And obviously, doing the work that we're doing with you guys, everything's being remote, right? So we can't see anyone face to face anymore. So we've really upped our game with pledging meetings because what we get out of it, it's just phenomenal. And I guess I can go into that, Lily. I know you've got some questions around that specifically.
Oh, yeah. So, just for a bit more understanding, can you briefly walk us through what is a normal process? If you forget meeting for good, what's a normal process of getting you in front of a key decision maker, someone that you, a CISO, someone that you want to speak to within a large scale company? What's kind of that? Is that process easy? Is it difficult? Is it what's it like?
It's an absolute pain in the ass, to be honest with you. Excuse me, but it's really tough, right? We're one of the hottest cloud security companies in the world. These CISOs are, they're our target market. CISOs or CIOs, they're very, very busy people with multiple projects on the go at one time. So to be honest, we don't usually ever start there unless we've got a pre-existing relationship or it's through an introduction. So sometimes we start with security engineers or security architects or security managers who sit under the CISOs, especially the big banks and the big enterprise spaces. The CISOs are always so busy and so hard to get a hold of. We do multiple. In the past, we've done multiple ways and multiple marketing campaigns to try and get in front of these people, from dropping food deliveries to, especially at the moment, doing knocking on doors. We're doing cold calling. We're doing marketing email campaigns. We're asking for introductions with people we know. So to be honest, it can take sometimes 2 years before you get into someone. And it's not until our technology is actually relevant to them and it's up on their their budget line. So it can be pretty stressful and pretty long-winded. We've got a business development manager who is an absolute freak at his job working for us, and he calls me sometimes. He's like, man, this is just sometimes it's just so tough to get in front of the people. And the annoying thing is once we're actually in front of them, they see what our platform can do. They go, holy shit, I wish we were talking to you guys a year or two ago.
Yeah.
So frustrating. So after saying all that, has meeting for good changed that a little bit, and how so?
Oh my God, massively. So we've had, I think personally myself, I've had 5 or 6 meetings with some of the big accounts that I've been targeting for quite some time. We've got multiple sales cycles that we're now in because of those meetings, and with executive support as well. So it's quite funny about it when you first asked me to do this, and every meeting we've had with it's actually run
in and out a little bit
because the first half an hour we're talking about philanthropy.
I think we've lost.
Sorry,
I think
just in Queensland.
Is everyone watching Netflix? Did you get Bevan Slattery? Yeah, you're breaking up and you're breaking in and out. We need to get Bevan Slattery to go and lobby all the telcos to open up more bandwidth.
Yeah, you might come.
Breaking up. You've lost him. See, this is where MPLS comes in. No, not MPLS. What else do we need? Yeah, we need some QoS on the
Take them off and put them back on. Maybe that'll work.
Yep. So we'll try and. Oh. Are you there, Nate? Can you hear us?
Oh dear.
It's frozen.
Technical difficulty.
You see, now you can see the difference. So Lily, you're in Victoria. I'm in New South Wales. Maybe there's a bit of bias happening with the quality of the bandwidth that everybody gets in their state. You know,
potentially.
But you know, I've got to say a big shout out to Netskope, because they've been a big supporter, and I know they're getting a lot of value from the meetings, which is really good. I think Nathan's just trying to come back in now. Are you there, Nathan?
Yeah, can you hear me now? So I've just dialed into my mobile phone. So
yeah. I was just saying.
Sorry about that.
I was just saying how we think there's a bit of bandwidth issue going on. I think some states get more than others.
Yeah, we've got Telstra up in. I'm up in Queensland at my sister's house at the moment. We've got Telstra, and it just keeps falling over itself. So I just think everyone needs to get off Netflix while we're doing these things, hey?
Yeah, exactly. Sorry. So what were you saying?
Yeah. So what I was saying is that I said, obviously, I don't know where I cut out, but you know, the meetings that every meeting that we've had through Meeting for Good has really turned into a sales cycle. You know, we've had. It's quite funny because, you know, like I was saying before, these people are so hard to get a hold of. And once we're actually in front of them and talking to them about, you know, what our technology do and what our platform can do. And so we've had so many times like, you know, we wish we were talking to you a couple of years ago. And I was like, well, you know, we have been trying to reach out to you for all this time. But, you know, they're just so busy over the stage. But I was actually thinking about it, Lily, when you asked me to talk today. And it's, every single meeting that we've done for Meeting for Good so far has run at least half an hour over. And the funny thing is we're sitting there talking, you know, the first half an hour, you sit there just talking about philanthropy and Meeting for Good and how good it is. And, you know, most of the people that are there have had it touched or had a sick kid touch their lives some way. So, you know, I think it really, from a meeting, it really, you walk away and they remember you. You've built kind of a very personal relationship with that person quite quickly. And it's just, you know, rather than going in there via a cold call, it's just such a different and such an amazing way of meeting someone or meeting an executive like that. Because it's, you know, I know Matt mentioned Andrew at West Farmers before. You know, every time I see him now, he knows who I am. He wants to have a chat. He wants to sit in our sessions. And, you know, it's like he's one of the top CIOs in Australia. And it's pretty special, right? And I don't think, well, I know if it wasn't for this charity and this piece, we just wouldn't be there today. So it's amazing. You know, we've got
really good feedback.
Yeah, mate, it's amazing. So
that's stunning.
And that's why it was all set up. You know, ultimately, I'm there's a lot of sales trainers out there. There's a lot of, I've been in sales for 20 years and it's changed so much. You can't be that open up your laptop and dump product and open up your iPad and pitch a widget. Dead in the water if you do that. And we talk about building a heart-to-heart connection. And that sort of human selling now is where you're building a heart-to-heart connection with the person that you're talking to is the way forward. And it's almost like it's you know it's just a brand new way that I think we've going to bring this to become quite a popular thing, because people are craving authenticity these days. I think they're sick of having products shoved down their throat, and this is just a nice, simple way to have a conversation and do some good.
Yeah, and what I think is so lovely is that we've been getting a fair few more vendors on board as a result of the current environment, and they're saying to us, oh, so how do I go about these meetings? How do I approach these executives? Do you have any tips, etc.? And we always say, oh, well, actually, we think it would be a really good idea to kind of start with the Meeting for Good initiative and kind of talk about philanthropy and kind of go in that way. But literally exactly what you just said. And we have not told you that whatsoever. You've just said that that's an amazing way that you start the meeting. And that blows me away. That's literally exactly what we hoped for. And it's so nice to hear it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah. No, it's literally is. It's an altruistic based approach to selling. Simple. You know, it's got a good feel about it. Everybody feels good about the meetings. There's always going to be an impact, regardless of whether or not the conversation can happen afterwards or there's an opportunity for future collaboration. There's always going to be an impact, and that's the good thing. So
Yeah,
I think there's a bit of an echo on the line.
I just think it's so important. I think that the key piece here as well is that the customer doesn't have to take the meeting, right? They can knock it back if they want. And like I said, we've had probably 6 to 8 very, very solid, very positive meetings. Sometimes with multiple people inside of an enterprise customer that you've got on your platform. And it's just a multi-touch point for us. And it's just like you said, we've literally have got probably 5 solid opportunities out of this from the meetings that we've had, and the other ones are just the timing's just not right. So it's not like it's a no, but it's just not a right now. And some of those, some of them, I won't name the business organizations, but they've had sales cycles with our competitors in flight for quite some time. And we've kind of come in there around our platform, and the CIO or the CISO has gone, hang on a sec, you guys can do that, and that. And we're like, yes, absolutely. And it's really shaken up some of our competitors' sales cycles, going, well, hang on a sec, why am I going to buy 2 or 3 products when I can just buy the one in Netskope? And we wouldn't have ever got to that level, or we've been trying to with multiple customers that we've met, and they've always knocked us back. Yeah. It's just really put us in the driver's seat there, because it's you're going there as a kind of a friend to the business almost, because you've had that very good personal conversation with them. But you also, it helps when you're in a competitive environment and you're going in there and getting a proper session with that executive that sits up the top with the money.
I mean, think about this. In the old way of doing things in the marketing and getting leads, the old lead generation stuff they used to do, and they give you a BANT qualified scoring and all that sort of stuff. When I look at these numbers on the vendor side, Nathan, insightful and informative, 96%. All those questions that are being asked, I can't help but see that this is just a massive improvement from the old way of doing things. Because we would never get those sorts of results. Not in my time of selling. We'd never have that sort of feedback.
No way. Yeah, mate. Sorry, I just had someone calling me.
Oh, yeah.
When I saw those results pop up on the screen, I was blown away. I think I completely agree with you. Right? It's from a sales perspective, I love it. Right? It's you look at a list and you go, hey, I want to meet that person, that person, that person, that person, and a week later you've got a meeting booked in your calendar. It's the easiest sell I've ever done from a vendor perspective in my life. It's like they get a bit of they've agreed to take the meeting, they want to meet us. There's something booked in their calendar, and we've done no marketing. Well, no direct marketing, no cold calling. We haven't pissed them off. There's so many ways in that makes this so nice for a vendor. I know a lot of vendors in the cybersecurity space and the infrastructure space, and I guess a lot of vendors from my time. And everyone I speak to is like, you guys have to get on board with this, because some of the best meetings we've had in my time in sales have been through your platform.
Yeah, I must give a shout out to Kylie. Actually, if you go onto the website, onto the meetmagic.org website, you'll be able to see a video. So meetmagic.org, there's a video on there, and Kylie, who's the head of marketing from Netskope, did an amazing job of helping us do that and bring that together. And she talks just really, really well about the impact on, and also has introduced it to some of Netskope's key partners.
It's been phenomenal.
Yeah, so we've now got some of Netskope's complementary key partners coming to us. We're about to start some campaigns with them as well, which is really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. I think Nathan has definitely had some technical troubles there. Thank you so much for talking to us, Nathan, if you can hear us. But yeah, that was basically the vendor's perspective. Oh, here he
is. Sorry, Nate, if you've had some technical.
Sorry, guys, I had someone call me and it disrupted the connection.
Well, there's the new. Right. That's the new world that we live in right now, right?
Yeah,
I know. Insane.
We'll let you get back to those calls, but finally, I just want to ask, basically, if there are any vendors out there that are contemplating using Meetings for Good, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that, one, we've had a very, very good experience dealing with you guys. It's been very easy and very nice. And I know from Tony, our MD, down to our marketing team and us salespeople, it's been very, very easy to deal with you. I was blown away when I first got given the list of how many people that we could actually reach out to. So I would say if you are a vendor, jump. And then, like have a look at the people that you can meet straight away. And then, I think finally is, the best thing is that we're giving back to the community as well. It's not just a selfish meeting where our inside sales guy has done a cold call. It's, you're giving back to sick kids who are in our community. And I think the biggest thing for that is it's not just the kids, it's the families that it helps as well. So, we're doing a good thing for the community, a good thing for our businesses, and a good thing for your business too. So
beautiful.
That's beautiful.
I hope that helps.
No, Nathan,
thank you so much.
No, absolutely brilliant. Thanks for coming on. And I think we just need to spread the word a little bit more. And he's gone again. I think we need to get hold of Telstra, Lily, and tell them to get their internet connection sorted out.
That's all right. Well, it was absolutely amazing to have him on here. Thank you so much.
Well, that's it.
Thank you to Netskope. Big shout out to Netskope.
Yeah, and I just so you know, I wanted to just leave you with one little bit of things that's been on my mind at the moment. Something that I've been doing while on lockdown. A lot more reading, of course. I'm reading this 50th Law by 50 Cent, Rob Greene and 50 Cent. If you haven't got this book yet, go out and get it. And if you want to build some mental strength, because I know resilience right now is a big deal for everybody. There's a lady in Sydney who's an author, and her name's Yudan Shi. She's wrote the Come Alive book, talks about resilience. Get hold of that. Very cool.
Fabulous. Just some fun reading for everyone.
Okay, thank you so much. We'll end it. I think we've done 46 minutes, which is great. We've had some comments. We've had some people watching. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. We're really grateful.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
Spread the word far and wide. We love Nathan and the Netskope team. We love Matt.
Thank you so much, Matt.
So we'll see you all again. Actually, tomorrow. Bugger.
I
Forgot.
Tomorrow,
3 o'clock, bring your beer, because we're going to be having Gus Warland from the Triple M Grill team talking about Gotcha for Life, and Andrew Webster, who's previously with Westpac, one of the key security guys at Westpac, coming on board talking about something very exciting. So that's going to be a really cool chat.
That'll be really cool. I'm excited.
Lily, thanks for your help.
Oh, thanks so much. It's been fun. We'll see you soon.
Such a natural. I hate you.
Bye.
Bye.